Hello and welcome back to Loren, the Amazon Princess. I will continue right where I left off. Loren and Eleanor led the party out of the swamps and towards the nearest town. They needed clean beds and hot baths, and couldn't be more eager to have either. Told you so. Before they had trekked far, a bright light flashed in front of them, and a person appeared. Where are you guys going? The shapeshifter. Why have you followed us? Sorry, we did not inform you, but I have my mother, and no need of your services. I already know that. You knew we had found Queen Karen? Yes. Ugh. Okay, so I knew there was a woman and a man taken hostage by the lizard men. I just assumed that was who you were looking for. I'm glad at least one of them is alive. Karen stepped forward, but Eleanor held her back. Was I supposed to go rescue you? I don't know you, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything all by myself. You don't survive the swamps by sticking your nose in where it doesn't belong. Why didn't you just say that you knew my mother was there? You sent us on a hunt for ingredients. This conversation is about as lame as telling you outright that I was, trying to help. Yuck, saying those words makes me shudder. I hope you're happy. Your methods are unorthodox, but you did lead my daughter to me. Thank you. Karen turned away to look to the sky with empty expression. Eleanor couldn't stand to see her queen so desolate, and thanking a person who had only barely helped them. You're deceptive. Most dark witches are. Are we down to name-calling? Really? I don't just teleport for anyone, so shut up about whatever happened and listen to what I have to say. Chambara crossed her arms, but Loren gave her a warning look. You're about to walk into an Empire town and get shot on sight. Does that sound fun at all? Why would we be killed? I am the Archwizard of Grimoire. Maybe not you, but all your friends. She only received blank stares in return. None of you know, do you? Out with it! The Empire and the Elves are at war. War? The entire party froze from hearing it. Sorry if you can hear that playing in the background. For so long the two factions had been teetering on the edge of it, but both sides had worked hard to keep from shedding any blood. Eleanor first looked to her mistress. Loren paled, but she had been upset since the Cthulhu Temple, and she worried how much trauma one Amazon could take. Sorry about that. And then Eleanor found the humans, Alphysmo and Amakuki. They were already staring at her down like she was responsible for the war herself. Bringing elves onto Empire soil and vice versa will only get you shot down dead. The Empire has declared war against the elves. Why? Groups of elves invaded human towns and a regiment of soldiers attacked a forest city. Impossible. Our army would not have marched into the forest, as you say. If they did, it was to root out someone or something. Perhaps the Empire found proof of a conspiracy in that elven town. No, it was completely random, and worse, the attackers completely disappeared afterwards. That doesn't make sense. No casualties or prisoners? Something is wrong with this war, and I'm warning you before you go home and cry about it. Not everything is as it seems. Do you know anything more? Are you hiding your knowledge again to keep from directly helping us? Chambara sighed heavily. You're welcome. Have fun with your little war. The swamp should be much more peaceful now that you're preoccupied. Hold on. You should help us. Your magic could be very useful. Dark magic is never useful. The shapeshifter ignored the insult and started to turn away. I don't care. Witch hunts won't happen while this is going on, so I don't mind. Bye. I still maintain she's going to be a party member at some point. She flashed away suddenly, leaving only smoke in her place. They stood silently in the field for a moment. This is grave news. Her warning is, unfortunately, appreciated. Our elven party members would be killed and the rest jailed for interrogation. We cannot travel into town. Archwizard, the council would need to hear from you. Yes, I was just thinking about that. I need to return to Grimoire immediately. Princess Loren, we must make a detour. I am returning to the Amazon Citadel. Alphysmo was startled by her defiance, since he was used to having people obey his orders. This is a matter of great importance. You are in possession of the Elder Blade. Ember Blade, not Elder Blade, damn it, Richard. Her Majesty has made no commitments to the Empire. Alphysmo glared at Eleanor, his eyes revealing how deeply he hated the elves. I know what you want from me. With the Empire at war, you wish to use me as the weapon you are going to use your gladiator. I was to be your weapon. Amakuki shuffled uncomfortably and held his head high. The sword is my responsibility, and I must take it back to Grimoire. That is all. It is my sword, mage. You said it yourself. You cannot wield it. But you may find me at the Citadel. Loren started walking away from the wizard and his warrior. Alphysmo gripped his staff tightly and shouted after her. I have your word! You will be at the Citadel with the sword! You may seek an audience with the Amazons like everyone else. The tall woman dwarfed Alphysmo, and his brow furrowed. You will see me again in due time. Amakuki, come. The gladiator locked eyes with Elnor before turning away to follow the mage on a different route. Elnor looked over her shoulder several times, watching the two leave. Loren changed course for the Citadel. As tired as she was, she needed to get her mother home, and quickly. Along the way, they unfortunately met with the war, even as they tried to avoid it. Swarms of elven scouts and Empire soldiers massed the battle, and was so enraged that Loren and the party were mistakenly caught up in the chaos. Elnor fought hard to keep her mistress safe, while still keeping her own hide intact. You need to fight 3 times to get back to the Citadel, near the Empire, near the Elven. Okay, so we have a decision now. Elven lands, human lands. Yeah, screw the humans. Right, so I want you in the front. So if I do strike through 3, it does some damage to the wizard. And that should be enough to kill him.
Now let's see if they had anything good.
Interesting little sound effect on that spell. That's actually more powerful. And I think I'm just going to fireball the front rank. That'll kill him, badly wound him, kill him. Then that lets me strike him for some damage. Strike him for some more damage. Take him out of the equation. Him. Shoot him. And kill him. Excellent. That's good. This time let's fight some elves. Yeah, that's fine. Leave it as is. Okay, so ooh, giant snake. Cool. Scout, elf druid, I think needs to be the... Let's do that. Make her more vulnerable in future. Do some damage there. Hit the giant snake. Tangling weeds, whatever that does. Bub. Health getting a bit low over there. Okay, let's hit these two with a blizzard. Do some decent damage. Strike. Life 3, which will heal her completely, which is good. And done. Let's just use a regular strike. Then Loren. That will be enough to kill that. Okay, hit both. Extra damage. Fatal damage. Yeah, hit that guy with the blizzard. And that kills him. Excellent. We're doing alright. We're doing okay. So one more fight and then I'm through. And let's fight some more humans. Yep, party formation is okay. As I say, I prefer to have another wizard over here, but use what you've got. Let's start the strike through to do a bit of damage to both. Admittedly, not a lot. Hit that wizard with a high-powered shot. Loren, so let's strike him. Now then. That should be fatal to... It's definitely fatal to him. It's probably fatal to him, so... Dead. Very badly wounded. Bow attack. Oh no, he's guarded from the front, unfortunately. Blow. Can't you... Alright, she's too low on... what's it? What is she doing? She's too low on stamina or mana or whatever they're calling it here.
Keep up next time.
Kill him. That's him. Ooh! Well, okay, need some healing at the moment. Potion of medium bite. Yeah. Minus 50 health. 100 health. So strike him. Okay, let's try and take him out of the equation.
I hope this is slightly uncomfortable.
Not completely out of the equation, but pretty close. Strike. Poison target 40%. Let's just hit him with a high-powered shot. Definitely kill him. And then kill the wizard.
Left in you yet.
There we go. That was fun. Excellent, and just level him up. It's another point, so... Let's get that one. Points in strength. And we are done. The citadel was right in front of them. Loren walked towards the legendary gate of the fortress with pride. The guards at the post jumped in surprise and announced the arrival of the princess, and more amazingly, the queen as well. The large doors creaked open. Inside of the fortress, hundreds of Amazons rushed to form a procession by the entrance, all kneeling to welcome back their royalty. Loren stepped up to the bowing women, with her hands on her hips. I have returned! I was told many suns ago that our queen, my mother, had gone missing, and that she was dead. I bring her to you now. Karen stepped forward, and the entire city seemed to apologize and cheer at once. Hail, Queen Karen! She held out her hands to quiet them. They all looked to her, with fear of punishment for leaving her to die. My daughter was very brave in finding me. She has proven great strength and intelligence where I have failed. I was your queen, but I do not feel worthy of this honor any further. Mother! Karen quickly gestured Loren to be silent. A more fit ruler has presented herself, and I will relinquish my throne to my daughter within the season. The Amazons bowed to Loren. Hail, Princess Loren! Mother, I did not bring you back for this. You are their queen. I am a weakling. You have seen what I am. Karen blinked rapidly and looked away. I will prepare you for rule, and then you will be queen. You saved me, and I am grateful. This is what I want. Loren gaped at her mother, unable to believe what had just happened. She was interrupted when Brazier approached urgently. Princess Loren, a very important guest is waiting for an audience with you. When she could finally tear her eyes from Karen, she processed the message. Alphysma is quick for an old man. Fine, tell him I will be with him in a moment's time. Loren went with Eleanor to meet her guests. Even though they had arrived back home and the mission was complete, Loren had not dismissed her service. Both seemed to ignore it, for fear that bringing it up would definitively put an end to the partnership. They walked into the audience chamber and found two people that neither had been expecting. Okay, didn't see that coming. Elves. Cool. A woman, clad in live vegetation, and a blonde elven scout were standing together on the other side of the room. Eleanor recognized the woman to be a druid. Sprites that protected the forest. The elf with her must have been her guard. Who are you? I am Elder Druid Myr, and this is my brother, Ray. A druid and an elf? Why are you here? We have never met, but I represent the elven nation. As you no doubt heard, the Empire and the elves are now at war. You've come to recruit the Amazons to your side. I suppose it is fairly obvious I would not be here at this grim time if it were not very important. I do wish for support, but not of the entire Amazons. Just Princess Loren. Just me. Why? We know you have the Ember Blade, and we know that it has recognized you. It's hard for outsiders to keep secrets in elven territory. Eleanor felt a chill from how openly the elf evaluated her. She'd never felt so exposed while clothed. I'm sorry to say you travelled here in vain. I am not siding with the humans or elves. Princess, important guests have arrived for an audience. Oh, bugger. More? Your friends? In through the doors walked Elfismo and Amakuki, not far behind. The druid and her elf jumped in shock. Agents of the Empire! Elven Witch! Elfismo raised his staff to cast an attack spell, but Ray shot a perfectly aimed bolt, knocking it from the mage's hand. In the next moment, Ray was tackled by Amakuki, while Myr had summoned vines to puncture through the floor tiles to grab Elfismo's legs. Stop this madness! Eleanor ran to the elf and the gladiator to pull them apart. With a sturdy kick of her foot, she shoved the gladiator away from the elf and out of his chokehold. A quick flash of her sword kept the two separated. You will not battle within the citadel! Myr and Elfismo huffed at each other across the room. Their companions slowly stopped growling at each other and joined the other sides. Within these walls no war exists. If you battle, I will eradicate you. Understand? My apologies, Princess Loren. I was not expecting the enemy. And I was not expecting filth. Listen to yourselves. You do not know each other but are already committed to hating one another. These two men have not proved to be evil and worth killing, and I doubt that Druid and her brother are either. Then you have not heard of the horrible tales of what the Empire does to elves in their hands, or their plot to cleanse the whole world of them. Do you allow every aspect of your reasoning to be ruled by fear-mongering and lies? I will hear no more of this squabble. This war is your own fault. I'm glad you brought that up. On my trip back to Grimoire, I have learned something very disturbing. The origins of this war are not what you expect. I wonder how you will twist it to paint the elves as the villains. Unfortunately, the villains are more intelligent than common elves. Ray reached for a bolt to load his crossbow, but stopped when Loren bared her teeth at him. The elves that attacked our town were not elves at all. Elves attacked your cities? That is backwards. Humans attacked the forest. Perhaps it is both. Have you considered that? Neither of us attacked each other. I had to oversee the burial of 100 elves not too long ago, wizard. I am in no state of mind for your barbs. If you could listen, I would tell you that no elven corpses were found after their ambush. Only the bodies of goblins. Using my magic, I was able to detect the essence of illusion. And I have put two and two together. The goblins merely looked like elven scouts when they attacked. So that means the humans that attacked the forest were goblins too. Precisely. The Empire did not instigate the war, nor the elves by that conclusion. I will have to agree. So if your magic is not mistaken, then only a demon could have organized these attacks. That magic is restricted to the Everburn Mountains. Demons. It's always demons. Faust. He is their leader, and I have fought him in the past, and he is beyond ruthless. He is near impossible to kill. My comrades and I had thought we had done so. It appears we were wrong. Furthermore, the council did not believe me when I presented this revelation to them. They will not believe that the elves did not attack us. They are so thirsty for us to slaughter them. I do not want this war, Archwizard. I will see it end by any means. I find no glory in this war either. If we can find a means to a truce, then we should do it. A brief moment of silence told Loren that the two of them needed to form an alliance, or else they would kill each other off for no reason. Eleanor's gaze bounced between both faction leaders, eager for them to come to the same conclusion. I propose we join forces against our true enemy. Alphysmo straightened. The demons, you mean? Yes. We may not see eye to eye, but a more dangerous foe is at large. Then we shall seek peace with our nations. The old wizard was silent for a long moment, and then reached out his hand towards the druid. She stared at it, and then reached out her own. They shook hands with each other, sealing their new alliance. Everyone in the room marvelled at how their attitudes had completely changed, putting their personal vendettas aside for the greater good. Hey, new party member. Mage Druid. What's your spell casting? Hail. All enemies with water damage. Cool. 20% chance of being frozen. Cool. Okay, so that heals 3 nearby allies. That's useful. All allies in a row. Okay, I suspect she's about to become my primary healer. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of points of will. Can the elves really work together with the humans? We must try, Ray. The only other option is to be attacked on 2 fronts rather than just one. Archwizard, the sword. Oh yes, Princess Loren's sword. The time has come to use it. Are you seeking to manipulate her to do your bidding? The sword does not need to stand just for the Empire. It could stand for our combined forces as well. This sword is dragging me into commitments I have not made yet. Is that all it will do? I want nothing more to do with it. Loren unsheathed the sword and it glowed, but she immediately slammed it against the floor. Everyone gasped in horror. Amakuki rushed to pick up the sword off the ground. He frowned at Loren. You're throwing it away? But it has chosen you. A piece of metal is not going to run my life. If you want it so badly, you can have it. I have plenty of superior weapons here at the Citadel. You will never find a blade stronger than this one. Don't be a fool and throw it away. The world needs you and you're running away. If our armies are to fight as one, we need not only a fearless leader, but one who would not appear to be biased towards either side. With this sword, everyone would agree that the gods themselves chose you to lead us against the demons. Your Highness, they need you. That is not my problem. Then we will ask the Queen to lead. Queen Karen is a good substitute, though she cannot wield the sword. Loren was tense, thinking of her mother taking her place. Could she send her mother to war after just returning her home? This is absurd. You cannot have the Queen. It seems more like her decision than yours. Loren knew her mother would take up this role, if only as a means to kill herself. She could not lose her mother to this. Your Majesty. Eleanor had difficulty bringing Loren's hard stare towards her. What happens outside the Citadel will affect you too. If this war continues, you are letting the world you live in be destroyed and ruled by chaos. Whether you see a human or an elf, your life as it is now would not exist if it wasn't for them. The clothes you wear are made from the silks woven by elves, and the bread you eat was made by the wheat grown in the Empire's fields. We all need one another, or else everything we know will cherish and crumble apart. Loren stared straight in front of her, contemplating her words. Eleanor prayed that she had gotten through to her mistress. Finally, the princess' eyes blinked back into reality and looked at the faces around the room. The demons are asking for a fight, and I shall give it to them. Everyone was more than relieved. The air in the room was significantly lighter. Amakuki, the sword. The warrior looked down at the ember blade, then slowly walked up to Loren. She gazed at it warily. Amakuki knelt down, suddenly in front of her, holding up the hilt for her to take. Loren stared down at the sword, and then finally wrapped her fingers around its handle, lifting it into the air. It glowed. Is this your calling sword, uniting these people to slay the demons responsible? I'm sure of it, Your Highness. She sheathed it and looked over at her servant. We shall see, I suppose. A historical alliance was formed then. The humans and elves had joined forces with the Amazons to lead one united army against the enemy who threatened them all. After some negotiations, both Alphysmo and Myr were prepared to take the steps to convince their individual nations to end the war, The citadel was designated as the base of operations, due to it being the only neutral fortress in the land. The guests were all treated to a formal Amazon welcome, and peacemaking rituals, including great feasts, folk songs, and tests of strength. After a few healthy days of bonding, the Amazons had concluded that an alliance could be formed between the three cultures, and even the human and elf factions began to put their differences aside. "You are very strong for an elf." "I believe that was a compliment." "All right, you're not bad yourself." "For a human." "I am the greatest warrior in Grimoire." "I am not bad at all." "Even the greatest warrior can fall from a single arrow." The two stared at each other, and then laughed. "You're right. I should have the arrows on my side, even if I don't need them." "You think brute strength is everything, huh? Prepare to be proved otherwise." "Is that a challenge, assassin?" They paused, both sure that they were the superior fighter. "Accepted. May the best elf win." Amakuki chuckled, and they slammed their fists together in a gesture of good sport. New party member, thief assassin. Okay, so what's he got? Cold blood. Leading strike. Headshot. Headshot. Sorry. That could be useful. Let's get that. And then a whole bunch of points of skill. Yep. Nearby, Draco grinned excitedly and turned towards Ramus, standing idly next to him. He held out his fist towards him. "May the best elf win!" Ramus just looked at the fire mage. "What, dwarf? What? Come on, let's make a cool challenge-packed thingy too." Ramus grumbled and walked away, leaving Draco hanging. He pouted. "Well, sucks for you, because you were just going to win anyway. Now I win. Draco wins. Haha." Yeah. Eleanor walked up to her mistress Loren while she was holding a final audience with Alphysmo and Myr. "So it is agreed. We shall both head back to our capitals to divert attention far away from the citadel and to convince our nations to put a stop to this bloodshed. Yes, I will help the forest elders see how they were so easily fooled. Princess Loren, you must come visit each of us immediately. If everything goes as planned, we need to introduce you to our respective councils as the new commander of the combined army. Speaking of which, I do not feel the Grimoire Council will be so readily convinced that the elves did not attack. I may need your help convincing them. I will come visit you both as time allows. Your Highness, all preparations for departure have been made." "Oh, Eleanor, good. Stand in front of me." "Yes?" Eleanor cautiously stepped in front of Loren as she asked. The princess unsheathed her sword and she tensed. "My first decree as High Commander is to promote you to my second in command." "Majesty?" "Kneel, Eleanor." Without question she obeyed. The ember blade then tapped both of her shoulders as she looked up at Loren with disbelief. "You have proven your worth to me as an advisor, and I have it known that your commands are to be respected as if they were mine." "Thank you, Majesty. My life is yours." The princess smiled, almost unexpectedly. "As my second in command, you may call me less formally." "Yes, Mom?" The gesture was beyond comprehension. Was she no longer a slave? The feeling barely registered. An entire lifetime had been treated as just a lowly servant, and now Eleanor was given one of the highest honours she could ever obtain. Loren sheathed her sword, but Eleanor took several more moments to stand again. "I am happy for you. Back to our matter. You need a token of the Empire to pass into Grimoire unharmed." The old wizard materialized a medallion from his robes and held it out to Loren. She instead nodded for Eleanor to take it instead. "This will let you pass into the Empire's lands without much trouble. I assume the rogues and bandits who do not recognize our laws will attack you anyway. That is a wise idea. I shall give you the forest's blessing, so those still loyal to the elders will not strike you down." The druid closed her eyes, and a glowing flower sprouted from her palm. She plucked it, and handed it to Eleanor. "These will be useful. I will leave to meet with you soon. I must be off right now, but I will leave Amakuki to you. And I have convinced Ray to travel with you as well. Farewell, and be safe." The two faction leaders bowed and left the place to depart from the citadel altogether. Commander Brazier approached Loren and saluted her with a hand over her heart. "Your Majesty, The Amazons are ready to fight for you. Your allies are strong, and we will no doubt be victorious. But we should not turn down a chance to strengthen our numbers. There may still be more allies to found, hidden around Averon. A group of peculiar elves were discovered by our scouts in the Orcish wastes. If you wish to investigate, they had a strange blue colour on their skin. They are not common elves, so be wary, Princess. Thank you. You are dismissed. More allies. Besides the dwarves, whom could we recruit to our cause? I could think of no one of value. If I may interject, we have encountered several powerful people in our journey that I think could be useful to have on our side. Sauser, the monk from Mount Cronus, was a very strong unarmed specialist. He would likely be interested in helping us. There is also the shapeshifter, Shambara. She may not see the point, but I believe we could convince her that even her isolated swamp is in danger. These characters are available to join your party only in the expansion we will release shortly after the main game is finished. Yeah, that's a bit of DLC that I know is available, but I don't have it. So, yeah. So I might get that for a future playthrough, but it won't be part of this Let's Play. My apologies for that. So I was kind of right in that she'd be a character, but apparently not here. When shall we depart? Tomorrow morning, at dawn. Be prepared, Eleanor. We have a war to end. Yes, ma'am. The celebration of the Queen's return had ended, the pacts had been made, and the party was ready to set off to fix what demons had so easily broken. Excellent. That to me feels like a fantastic point to end this recording session. So thank you very much for watching this Let's Play series, and I will be continuing it in the next part, which I think will be part 9, because I think this was part 8, but I'm really terrible at remembering which part number I'm recording. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the future.